here with my man Thomas, the man that gave me the platform in Chicago to do the original 2Techies series.
Yes, sir.
We're shot about 6 shows up there. So we're here at 2Techies, Black Tech Weekend. Thomas was one of the speakers. I'm gonna let him talk about himself, but you guys know we like to have candid conversations, so we've already been chatting. It's just we turning on the cameras now so they can capture some of this. But Thomas, when did you fall in love with tech?
When did I fall in love with tech? I guess there were 2 times. So the first, 1997, I bought my first domain name, and I realized, so I started a wheel business selling custom wheels, performance tires online from coast to coast, out of my dorm room, eBay, car domain. Whoa. And I realized that if I had an online marketplace, I could make it look just like a wheel shop, and I didn't have to invest that. So that's when I realized it could be a leveling opportunity to level the playing field. And I guess many years later, when I started my company, currently Candid, we're a microfeedback platform, saw the opportunity to just scale it into something much larger without necessarily having the same overhead as I did with real estate.
Right.
At least I thought not. And that's kind of the 2 moments where I saw tech as a thing that was going to help me to build my life and impact others.
So real quick story about rims and tires. 2001, I get my first Civic, and I realize I'm about to get rims from them in Tallahassee. And I go back to the dealership, and I'm like, look, man, I'm about to buy rims, but if I could have added my rims into
exactly,
y'all would have made a lot more money. And they was like, ain't nobody buying rims like that. We don't do that. I come back 3 years later,
you know it.
Honda had custom rims. I was like, these dudes just stole my whole vibe, because I was like, if I could have added that into that monthly payment, even though I would have wasted a lot of money, but I would have been able to afford it at the time because I had a loan for a car payment.
Right.
I could have easily said, can I take the loan up $2,000 more, but coming up with $2,000 cash to throw some rims on your car, like that wasn't gonna happen. I was like, man, y'all should just sell them yourselves instead of everybody buying them third party.
Yeah.
Honda was like, we're never gonna do that. That's not what our cars are for. 3 years
remember
later,
when dealerships first started doing that. That was around that time. And people didn't really think of it as rims. That's when the words custom wheels started to come around. Because if you see something on the car and it's like, man, the wheel well looks so nice on it. I can't quite put my finger on it. Custom wheels are best when they don't look like rims. They just look like part of the car. Yeah. And that's when dealerships started really.
And that's what I told them. I was like, they look like this. Just put that H in there.
Yeah.
Make a lot more money. But so you talked about microfeedback and the basis of your company. So I know what you do in tech, but people on camera may not know. So why don't you tell us exactly what you're doing besides Black in Tech, which I kind of want to talk about that too. But what exactly do you do in technology right now?
So I'm the founder of Candid Microfeedback. Okay. We're a microfeedback company. And what that means is we have a platform that allows large enterprises, organizations to use 1-question micro surveys that are 160 characters or less to crowdsource feedback directly from customers, employees, funders, community partners, anybody connected to your organization. You can aggregate that feedback really quickly across many locations and departments through our tagging mechanism. So a micro survey is literally a URL. So we have to get that URL on people's devices. We can do that like text, I'm Black in Tech to 41411, and you get an autoresponder with that micro survey in less than 10 seconds. That's one way we can do it. We can also have you go to a URL online like I'mBlackInTech.com/feedback. That's now the feedback box for that organization. So we have a lot of ways to get the little quick URL onto people's devices, but when people respond, that's where they get that's where we can get feedback at scale and turn any room into an instant focus group in under a minute. So that's what I do full time.
Didn't you just do that for a large organization recently? What's it, CDW or something?
CDW, yeah. So I do. I have a speaker series, a speaking brand called Think Like a Startup, where I go into large organizations like CDW, like Clorox, and I put on a 90-minute think tank to identify the top challenges, top solutions for that organization, and they can make them actionable literally the next day. And at the end of that, I always do a micro survey to capture the feedback from the employees in the room and give it back to that company around, what are the top things they need to do. So we use that software inside of those things.
I was about to say, so you get to consult, use your software, then analyze data, not just to make your consulting better, but to even make your platform
brother,
better.
you better believe every room I'm in on stage,
You working it.
I'm using my micro feedback platform. I just did it in that room.
Right.
So
Well, how was the feedback? What'd you get?
it was 96% positive. We had 29 responses, and most of the people actually signed up. So there's an aspect you can actually connect to somebody's microfeedback profile. Most of the people signed up so we could stay connected,
Okay.
and I'd have their contact information too. So it was good.
Dope. So, breaking some of the nerd talk, craft beer, craft cocktail.
Craft cocktail all day long, man.
What you drinking?
I'm an old-fashioned man, brother. So old-fashioned Sazeracs, Boulevardier, Vucare. That's.
Are you old fashioned with bourbon, whiskey, or
Bourbon.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Okay. So old fashioned all the way old
Yeah,
fashioned.
yeah,
All right.
old-fashioned. Yep.
If your business life was a movie or a TV show, and at that point your eyes are projecting that onto a screen, what would I see right now?
Oh man. Oh, you came with a good one. What would it be? So it's probably gonna be 24.
24?
Yeah.
24 Legacy?
No, 24 Legacy. Because honestly, I was not expecting Dr. Dre to come in and do what he did, but it was so good, man. So I feel like that's a perfect representation of me.
I understand that, guys. He's talking about the young Dr. Dre that played Dr.
Yeah.
Dre in Compton, not actually Dr. Dre. I don't want y'all getting hyped. Like, Dr. Dre acting now? All right. So,
What a good question.
what do you feel along your journey right now? What do you feel is one of the biggest challenges or strugglers you're facing?
I can tell you the biggest challenge right away is getting people to collaborate. You know, and that for people of color that are leaders in initiatives and in organizations in and outside of Chicago, all around the country, and I've talked to people in other countries as well, there is some foundational thing that is in the way of the leaders in the Black and Hispanic community coming together and centralizing the narrative, centralizing the work. Let me share my resources with you. Let me make introductions on your behalf. The collaboration piece is missing. And if we could do that, so much could happen so fast.
Okay. I can dig that. I mean, it's true. We just talked about it in another session. It's sad that it's so true, but it's true.
I mean, that's what we talked about when I brought you to Chicago too.
Yeah, I got some things to say about people that didn't do their part on that. So when you hear two words, I want your immediate response. All right? Diversity, inclusion.
No, I can't say what
You got to.
How many words do I have to say?
You can say whatever you want to say. I just need your immediate response. Hey man, this is our TV. You can say what you gotta say.
Fake phony. Ooh.
Okay.
Not supposed to do that.
No, that's what you're supposed to do. All right, so fake phony. Now, the next thing is you have all the resources, all the money, everything you need to now fix diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
But the catch is you can only describe your solution in 4 sentences. No more than 4 sentences.
Yeah.
What's the solution now?
Okay. I can do that in 4 sentences. Sentence number 1. We need foundational business education to close the transactional competence gap.
Okay.
That's
And
sentence
2?
1. Sentence 2, we need access to capital in non-traditional ways made part of the narrative.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is gonna be, we need athletes, entertainers, and high net worth people of color that are non-traditional investors to come to the table and support startups.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4, we need people on the other side of the table in corporations that can cut a check to engage with startups for 90-day pilot contracts early stage.
Switch pitch. I know exactly what you're talking about. Don't tell us you need what we're building. If you need it, give us the opportunity. If it works, keep going with the check.
Absolutely, brother. Yes.
I just changed that question, by the way, about 3 sessions ago. I see a whole nother segment, because that's what we need. At this point, we already feel the way people are approaching it is BS. But we know the solutions.
Right.
But the solutions it's gonna take is not just talks, conversations,
Exactly.
and booklets and people writing pledges and commitments, and we still don't see the money from the
Exactly.
pledges and commitments.
I sure don't need any more of that.
I don't even want to go on that tangent, man.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. You want to go? I'm ready to go.
I just, me and you go there, that is a 2-hour session. Then it transfers to the food and drink.
Right.
So I'm gonna let them slide on it. But y'all gotta kill it. Quit telling that you want to fix the problem. This man just gave us 4 sound solutions of how to fix the problem. And at the end of the day, I don't care how many organizations we show this to, only 2 of them will probably execute what we just said.
And most of them don't even cost any money.
Preach. All right, man. Look here,
Bruh.
man. I'm shivering inside because I'm ready to take off. Well, what? 0 to 100. All right. So the world is yours.
Mm-hmm.
You get to choose one mentor that would invest into you. Time, money, resources, everything is accessible. Who's your mentor?
Barack Obama.
Second time I've heard that it's becoming.
Yeah, if I don't know if I could find another person in my mind who's had to navigate more that I've seen in my lifetime. I can't imagine what it was like, and the grace that he did it with, and the networks and the knowledge that he has to emerge from this with. If I could get a year of that man's time focused on me, yeah, that would be it.
Now the funny thing is, why you say that and why it's standing out so much to me that's your answer. The first person that said that actually came from a white female.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That shows you the power that man had and the impact he made.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was yesterday too. Dope. So we're all in the game. We play at one point, you either retire, you get injured, or God takes you to that next level.
Yeah.
How will we define the legacy of the salt and pepper bearded man named Thomas KR Stovall? What's your legacy?
He helped people live the lives they love.
I can dig that. I see that as you. I can see that in you even as a caretaker, kind of how you took care of people when they came to the house in Chicago when we was hanging out in Chicago. You were always in tune with making sure people were being proactive, but making sure they felt comfortable with what they were doing. That's a good characteristic of you.
Appreciate that.
I'm gonna say that on camera so people know that. I know sometimes people can view that as you being aggressive, but you're actually always doing stuff with intent.
Yeah.
And sometimes intent takes pushing people to the next level. Because if not, it's just like they say, running a business to make money is a business. Running a business just because is a hobby. And you are always intentional about your actions.
I have deliberateness of purpose tattooed on my forearm.
Development of purpose?
Deliberateness
of purpose.
Tattooed on my body.
See? I don't know your body, I don't know your tattoos. I know your personality. So there's a new technology where you can just walk up to somebody, plug into their bloodline, and hear the soundtrack of their life, what they're going through, what they're experiencing. If I plug into you right now, what am I listening to? It's a song or it's an album, but what am I listening to?
Probably Trouble Man, Marvin Gaye. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
I can listen to that too, and I can understand it, and I can relate to it.
Yeah, that puts you there.
All right, so Thomas, we talked before, man, and I always get to interview you and put you in the hot seat. So you get this one chance to maybe ask me a question, release a thought. It might even be a critique of something because you always can tell people what your micro survey. And at this moment, you can probably tell me what I'm doing wrong, right or wrong. But is there something you would like to ask me, comment to me, or something you would like to say about the work we're doing?
So when you think about your day, your week, your year, the next 5 years, what's the measurable outcome for you inside of this work that you do that equals success? When you look at it like, if I did this, some line you can cross, not a subjective thing, what would success equal for you from the work that you've done?
I would say one would be to at least fund 10 companies successfully because of the storytelling we were able to tell. I would like for 10 companies to be able to say, because of your content or because of what I learned from your content, I was able to successfully get funded. 10 being, because on that 100% scale, only 2 to 3 of them are going to be successful.
Tangible.
Yeah, so I wanted to see the success. So even though the 10 getting funded is okay, I still want to see those 2 or 3 go to that next level, that 20% opportunity. On a daily basis, it's when the views, because a lot of times people are almost afraid to be vulnerable, to tell me what's really going on or to tell other people. The only reason why I still do it now, whether we get funding or whether it's just on our own dime, is when people text me and say, yo, the information I got from that video inspired me to keep going and not to give up.
That's real.
So it happens every day. Normally after the interviews, it's just somebody saying, the question you asked me made me change the way I was looking at everything. But I would say 10 companies being funded, and for this to become what I can get kids into versus, nothing against Shonda or anybody else, versus just controversy in reality TV.
Yeah.
You know, our last person we interviewed, they was like, you know, I see this as being the next Bloomberg. You got to talk about the real things, the facts. So I'd rather be on MSNBC than VH1.
Dig it.
If I could do that, if I could just get somebody to say, yo, he changed the narrative of how we view black, and it would be my peers, you know what I'm saying? It would be someone like you, it would be with Sherelle Dorsey's, it would be the Leslie Molly, the, you know, Travion Shorters, Tristan Walker. It would be people like that to say, that's the kind of narrative we need. That's what I want to do. But 10 companies will be my tangible one.
Yeah. Can I say one last thing before we wrap?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, so in my gut, I believe that in order to shift the narrative, it's got to be told via story, right? Mm-hmm. That has to happen with people who can take video, can take pictures,
right,
can create scenes, environments, and explain, this is why this is relevant, this is why this is fun, this is why this is sexy, this is why this is cool.
Right. Makes it real, yeah.
That's what has to happen. And the fact that that's what you want to do, I hadn't heard you say it quite like that before, man. We need to talk more.
Okay, I can dig that.
I appreciate you, brother.
Tell us how to get it. They want to know, man. They hit me up. So how do they reach you on social media?
People want it. I'm gonna give it to them. So I'm Thomas KR Stovall .com. That's the central place you can get to me. That's got all of my social media information, but directly Twitter at Thomas KR Stovall. On Instagram, I'm at Mr. Mogul CHI. LinkedIn, at Thomas KR Stovall. And for I'm Black in Tech, we are at I'm Black in Tech on all social media channels.
So with Digital Grass at our meetings to capture the energy, the place we've left people at, a lot of times, you know, back in the day, like everybody say something to close it out.
Yeah.
Close it out turned into a whole nother meeting. So we got into we got into the point where it was one word.
One word.
So if you could close us out with one word, what would that one word be?
Amplify.
Hey guys, thank you. This is Thomas KR Stovall from Black Tech Weekend 2017. It's 2Techies, Digital Grass. It's another one. Let's go.